Welcome, Scorpio. This is your July 27 reading. I am Jean, and this is my channel, Rebel Yell Rising. I am switching it up a little bit differently for the July monthly than I did the June monthly, if you guys saw that. I am focusing, and I set the intention of a more spiritual message, right? Because at the core of every issue, at the core of everything that's going on in our external world, the core is a spiritual issue. And once we get that right, it's reflected in our external world. As within, so without, right? So, and I'm sure you guys being Scorpios, I'm sure you understand that. Let me see. So first of all, I just want to say thanks for all my new subscribers. You guys are awesome. That's great feedback to me. It lets me know that my messages are, reaching their intended audiences, whoever it is, as well as supporting my channel. The likes, the shares, the comments. I really do appreciate it. So let's get started. I am using the Isis Oracle card deck by Alana Fairchild, in case you guys were curious. They're very, very deep and profound messages. See? This one looks deep, doesn't it? The Dark Mysteries. So in this spread, this card represents the spiritual issue that Scorpio is going through for the month of July. All right? And if you're thinking, I'm not having spiritual issues, well, if your life is anything but perfect, there's a spiritual issue, and nobody's got a perfect life, right? Everything at the core, just like an earthquake, we feel it outside, externally, up here, right? But it started at the core, at the much, much deeper level. So the Dark Mysteries. So I am referring to her guidebook just because I don't use this deck too often, because the messages are so intense. They're definitely not like for, everyday readings. So just give me a second. Appreciate your guys' patience. Okay, guys. And if you're not familiar, Isis is an Egyptian goddess. This is saying that you guys are being invited and being tested and being offered a gift. The test is your willingness to meet and release the fears within you that have been holding you back. The gift is freedom, peace, opportunity, and prosperity in all its forms. So this is the time for a deeper initiation for you, Scorpio. It is a life-changing experience. You are being called in the month of July to really work on your shadow self. When you really are able to work on your shadow side, your whole self can be brought to light. A lot of times it's uncomfortable, it's painful and difficult, especially because it's usually things that we've pushed way deep down, parts of us that we think are shameful, are unlovable. It takes courage to really look at that in order to heal it, right? So it's pretty straightforward for Scorpio for the month of July. You're being asked to do some shadow work. Maybe there's something in your life that happened that you haven't really thought about since you were a child because you thought it was shameful, or you were a very, just for example, like maybe you were a nasty bully as a child and you just pushed that out of your mind, but that streak is still there. or I'm not really sure. I can't even really come up with any good examples right now, just because I feel like it is so personal to each and every single one of us. I don't feel like I can give good examples of shadow work right now, but that's what I mean when I say shadow work, right? There's the light side of us that we are proud of, that we are happy to see, that we are happy to show to the world. And then there's the shadow side of it, right? Like the moon, when you see it, right? You only see the moon that half in light, and then there's that dark side that you can't really see, but it's there. That's the side of us that we're embarrassed of, the part of us that thinks we're not good enough, the part of us that thinks we'll never be loved. This is shadow work. And it's the part of us, you'll recognize it because when you're confronted with your shadow side, or when your shadow side is brought closer to the surface, you will feel an emotion that is related to your shadow side that brings it out, such as, fear, afraid of something, or something that makes you angry, or something. You'll feel it, you'll know it, because it's very emotional. All right. So the month of July, you are being asked, Scorpio, to really work on your shadow side. And when you are able to bring that shadow side into the light, the message is that you will be given a sort of freedom from it. Okay, now this card is the message is what you can do, like on a day-to-day basis, to help heal that shadow side, to help deal with it and to work through it, if you will. Pyramid of light. So this is about negative energy being directed in your direction. It's amazing. Like, this whole reading is just screaming Scorpio so far. So this card is really making me feel like you guys have been working on your shadow self, and it's very possible that you don't even realize it. Maybe it's been subconscious work. Like maybe you just realize that you're tired of being angry, or you're tired of being, having this jealous streak or a possessive streak, just because it takes up so much energy, right? And as you're starting, when something leaves the shadow, naturally it's in more light, right? And what I'm feeling is you guys have been doing that. You've been doing that work. You've been looking at yourself. You've been taking those steps to face your shadow, right? And by doing so, you have been starting to bring it into light. And instead of feeling or coming from a place of anger or fear or frustration, you've been actually moving more into love, right? And what this is saying is that because you've been moving higher into a frequency of love, you're vibrating at a higher frequency, your own light, right? What I was talking about, like that inner light, that own light of yours has been like glowing brighter. And as your light glows brighter, like moths to a flame, there are negative energies that have been attracted towards you and moving towards you, right? So what you guys need to do is shield yourself. So what this is saying, on a daily basis, make sure that you shield yourself from negative energy. Now, please don't get freaked out. I'm not saying that like your house is like being invaded by things that you can't see. What I'm saying is that as you are smiling more, feeling joy in your heart more, you're going to cross paths with people who are probably going to be trying to bring you back down, knock you back down, and you might not even realize it or see it like that. But there's going to be instances, things are going to happen, and people are going to be around you that are going to test you, right? That's the negative energy. That's the negative energy that's being attracted towards you. Towards you. And what you can do on a daily basis, and what you should do on a daily basis, because you guys are so sensitive to, you know what I mean? Like psychically sensitive, is shield yourself. And if you don't know what I mean, just leave it in the comments below and I'll get back to you, but I'm just going to assume you know what I'm talking about. You can even Google it. And that is going to help you kind of like ward off negative energy so that their lower vibration can't like get to you. All right? So that is what you guys really need to do and really make a conscious effort to do this month, is focus on keeping your vibration at that higher level, because I feel like you're in kind of like a vulnerable state right now where you're lifting higher, you're getting up there like a balloon, you're floating, right? But one little like pin will pop it and it'll explode and just come right back down, right? And you can prevent that by shielding your energy. Scorpio, this next card is the blessing that is coming for you in the month of July. Oh, this is such a Scorpionic reading. You know, Scorpio's sun, moon, rising. Scorpio rules the 8th house, which is like the house of death and, you know, shadow. This is such a Scorpionic thing. It's so funny. And you guys have been the first sign to really be asked to look at your shadow self. Okay, the blessing is that there is going to be a burial of everything that no longer serves you. This could be relationships, jobs, friends, mentalities, you know, thought processes, such as how come every time I start a job, nobody wants to be friends with me? Everybody's mean to me. They all turn against me. It's like no matter what I can do, it doesn't matter, because in the end, they all end up betraying me, right? That would be like a thought process or a mentality that will go away. And that's going to be the blessing for you guys, is that there will be some sort of like slow awakening, almost a subconscious or like a very subtle realization, I think, that a certain way of doing things or thinking things, it's just not necessary anymore. It might have been in the past, you know, as a means of survival, but it's not helping you grow anymore. It's only hindering you. And that's the blessing, right? That's the grace, is that when our human minds just can't get it wrapped around something, right? The grace is bestowed upon us because, you know, either we can't do it on our own or we didn't ask for it and it's just given to us. It's going to be this blessing of letting something go that you don't need in your life anymore. And it's very possible that You're not even going to realize it when it happens. I mean, it might be like months down the road when you're like, huh, I haven't really craved cheesecake in a while lately, right? And I know you probably think that sounds like a really trivial thing, but if you're diabetic and you can't get control of your sweet tooth, it's not trivial. So, your challenge, as if it's not challenging enough, right? Your challenge, Scorpio, is overcoming negative energy with feminine power. So there seems to be like a really huge misconception that just because you're a woman and you're screaming that's girl power. Or that if you're a man and you're screaming and yelling and being super aggressive on behalf of gender equality or, women's rights, that's girl power, right? Or that's feminine power. It's not. Feminine strength is mercy. It's compassion and it's love, because those are so hard and it takes so much courage and so much strength to really hold your space and to really truly hold those emotions in the face of negative energy. That's going to be the challenge for you, Scorpio. So, like I was saying, there's going to be stuff that's going to be like thrown at you, right? You're being tested. What this is saying is that there is negative energy being directed at you. Now, please, Scorpio, you guys really need to understand that nothing goes on in this world without the divine's consent. Nothing. If there's negative energy being thrown at you, you're being tested. It's to teach you something. It's to get you to wake up. If you fought and fought and fought and fought your whole life, now is the time to stop fighting with weapons. Now is the time to stop fighting with anger and frustration and to fight with love and compassion and mercy. Because those will overcome, love will overcome the negative energy being directed at you. So hold your own and don't let that enter your consciousness when something or someone, a situation or something is testing you to see how you're going to react. The reason you're being tested is because you are evolving higher on that spiral upwards, right? And that's why it's so tough. All right, Scorpio, this last card for you is special guidance for you from your higher self and or your guides, whichever you choose to believe. Past life, present power. All right, I'm going to get this one from the guidebook as well. Death and rebirth. Isn't that fascinating, guys? See, this is such a scorpionic reading. One of the animals that's very representative of Scorpio is the phoenix, right? Which is death and then rebirth. The phoenix rising from the ashes. And that's kind of what this is about. It's past lives. Rebirth, right? Boy, what was I just saying? That your soul is growing in service to humanity, in service to the great feminine, and her call that all things need to be healed and free. You guys see that card? So let's see. These resources include powers and gifts from other lifetimes that you've had. You're currently integrating some past life abilities into your current life, and you are being guided to be open to shifting internally and in your experience of your own levels of power and spiritual ability. So, in a nutshell, what that means is that there are talents, abilities, and powers that you have gained from past incarnations that are being restored to you now, that are going to help you along your path. So this could come, you might recognize it, like if you meet someone and there's that instant like connection, or if you all of a sudden, travel to a place that you've never been to and you feel like a connection to that place, like you know where you're going, or you know where you've been, that you've been there before, right? So don't be surprised if you start experiencing some of those things. But your soul is evolving, like I was just saying, like up the spiral up. And because of that, there are gifts that you have learned from past lives that your soul, right, has been carrying with it. Not your human body, not your incarnation in this time, not who you are in this life, your human experience, but what your soul has brought forth with it. It's now being integrated into this human lifetime to assist you. All right? And that's to help bring about the, great feminine, to help with humanity, embracing healing and love and feminine strength. All right, Scorpio, let's do a quick recap for you guys. The spiritual issue at hand is for you to take a look at your shadow self. Look at the sides of you that you are uncomfortable looking at. That's your shadow side. What are you uneasy thinking about in regards to yourself, right? Do the shadow work so that you can be free from the shame that it brings you, or the fear, or the anger, right? On a day-to-day basis, make sure that you are shielding yourself and protecting yourself from negative energy that would try to penetrate your consciousness, right? If you're feeling like you're on cloud 9, you're going to be tested. There's going to be situations that are going to arise and try you to get that temper to go, to set you off, because there's negative energy, right, that is going to want to bring you back down to negative energy. And instead, in order to deal with it, to heal with it, you need to step into a place of compassion. Not pity, compassion, love. Because that's the highest vibration. That's higher frequency, and they can't bring you down if you go higher. Don't go lower. Your gift for the month of July, Scorpio, is that there is going to be a release of certain things that are no longer serving you. And this could be a conscious decision or an unconscious occurrence, right? It's more like a grace from the divine that you are going to be gifted a realization that you no longer need something. Your challenge is to overcome anger, frustration, hatred, any sort of negative energy which would come along like an emotion, anything that would try your patience or make you mad or make you angry or sad or frustrated, to react with compassion and mercy and love. That's your challenge, because that's feminine strength. That is girl power. That is the divine feminine. Embrace that power. That is female power. Male or female, it doesn't matter. And the guidance for you is sort of to let you know that the reason you're going through all of this is because you are evolving. You are ascending higher on that spiritual spiral. Your frequency is raising, and you're going through an initiation of sorts, right? That's why you're going to be tested. We're all tested. You have past life gifts, talents, abilities that are going to be coming through into this human incarnation, this lifetime. Healing abilities, a desire to heal, a desire to help, and it's all to assist in the greater service to humanity. And don't think that it means like that you have to quit your job and go be a nun or a monk. No, just smiling and showing love and compassion to someone, and it then changes them, is service to humanity, right? All right, Scorpio, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful, and I hope it gave you information that you needed to continue on this path. I really recommend watching these videos like throughout the month as kind of like a reminder. Just that's what I do when I watch other readers, because I don't really ever remember any of their readings after I watch it. Again, I thank you all so much for supporting my channel, and I hope you have a beautiful July. Thank you all so much.